And that's the thing, I think we've got so used to being able to just chuck something in a microwave. It's doing this seems like a huge amount of effort. But
Chef Mike, as we call him in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I'm Tom Straker, I'm a chef and I'm obsessed with all things food. I'm hitting the road loaded with cooking equipment on a hunt to meet fantastic suppliers and showcase how good local seasonal food can be throughout the year. This series, I'm heading down to the Gower Peninsula on the south coast of Wales in the hope to meet some amazing people and see some fantastic produce. And I'm fucking buzzing. This is season 12.
Hi Tom, it's Andrew. How are you doing? I'm foraging this morning at Three Cliffs Valley and I was wondering if you'd like to help me fill my basket. We're at the tail end of the mushroom season, but there's still plenty about. See you then.
Morning, Andrew.
Morning, Tom.
So we're off to do some foraging today.
That's the plan. So I brought my basket. If all goes well, we should fill it up.
And whereabouts are we headed?
Well, we're in a beautiful part of the world here. So the Gower Peninsula, we've got a coastal area, we've got sandy beach, we've also got some sand dunes, we've got a salt marsh and some woodland. So in between all of these different environments, you've got a lot of potential to find some good things.
It's November. What sort of stuff are we hoping to find at this time of year?
It's quite late in the season. So, we've had a couple of frosts already this year, so that really hits the fungi. So we may not find too many mushrooms, but we should still find some of the sea herbs, things like sea beet, sea purslane, that sort of thing will be around. We've also got sort of hawthorn berries, so haws, rose hips, things like that. So we're really at the end of that autumn season.
End of the season. When's the best time for sort of harvesting mushrooms? It's sort of...
I would say maybe early to mid-October is generally pretty good, but we may find a few today.
Okay.
Let's hope for the best.
Any magic ones?
Lots. They're all magic. Once you've removed the seeds, you can just put the flesh into either make jams and things out of it, or just soak it in water and make a tea.
So you just run your thumb through
That's it. It takes a while, to prep
yeah,
them.
to prep them. But I mean, food shouldn't be easy, should it?
No, and that's the thing. I think we've got so used to being able to just chuck something in a microwave. It's doing this seems like a huge amount of effort. But
Chef Mike, as we call him in the kitchen.
Yeah.
What are we looking at here then?
Right, these are parasol mushrooms. Now, they're not really at their best. They would have been a lot better probably a week or so ago, but one of the tasty wild mushrooms you'd find around here.
Fantastic. And how can you sort of identify that?
One of the indicating features, you see this ring?
Yeah.
Now that's the remnant. The cap was attached to the stem there. So you end up with this little ring that's been left behind. Now that it should be detached from the stem.
And that moves a little bit, doesn't it?
It should do, yeah. You can see where it's still kind of clinging on a little bit, but it's not bonded permanently to the stem. So that's one of the indicating features. The other one is the smell. So if you can smell, that's got quite a mushroomy sort of smell, whereas the false one we definitely don't want to be picking has quite a sulphurous smell, like a gassy sort of smell.
And these are pretty tasty mushrooms, are they?
These are real gourmet mushrooms.
What sort of flavour are we?
They're quite a meaty mushroom. They go really well with bacon and things like that.
Ooh,
lots of flavour.
Bacon. In terms of sort of varieties of mushrooms, these are one of a few edible varieties. You told me earlier there's sort of 8,000 mushroom varieties in the UK, but there's only how many of them are edible?
Probably a couple of hundred are edible. The majority are not deadly poisonous, they're just inedible, which means they either don't taste very good or they might give you an upset stomach, something like that. People have always been afraid of mushrooms, and sometimes for good reason. I always like to stick to the kind of phrase that all mushrooms are edible, but some mushrooms you can only eat once. It's a decent rule of thumb.
Okay.
So,
and the majority of people in the UK just know one type of mushroom.
and they're really missing out because
They
those
are missing
supermarket mushrooms haven't got much taste, whereas that is
Better than the
Yeah.
shit that people buy in the supermarket. The
you
butter
could definitely
mushrooms.
say that, yeah. Pretty much, yeah. You've nailed it there. I think.
And we've come in. We've walked 300 metres. We found some mushrooms and we're going to cook them for breakfast.
Yeah, and they don't cost us anything.
And they don't cost us anything. Free
Great,
food.
and we get exercise as well.
Oh,
It's a win-win, isn't it?
it's a win-win-win.
Yeah, just keep on winning.
Yeah. Should we crack
Yeah, I
on?
reckon we'll take these with us. Here you go. Right, it's really quite small at the moment. They're incredibly tasty. So we've got some sea beet growing here. This is kind of
Yeah.
the winter rosette, really. So these tiny, really quite delicate small
It's
leaves.
a bit more tender.
Yeah, basically a month or so ago that you'd have had much bigger leaves,
Okay.
but they've died off and rotted away, and what you're left with then are these really quite delicate small leaves.
Yeah, they're
So
I
they're-
mean,
they're
I have cooked with these quite a lot before. You pay a fortune for it in the restaurants up over the bridge.
Bet you would. And here we are picking it for free. How much is that
Is it?
worth then?
I don't know. It's probably a couple of quid, you know. They got a salty
They're tasty, aren't they?
flavour.
I find the bigger leaves tend to have a bit of a soapy aftertaste, so I'm not such a fan, but these little ones are
These are-
great.
Yeah, they're fantastic. I mean, often serving them with sort of seafood, crab.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can cook them with lamb and stuff like that. They're a great alternative to a kind of like a spinach kind of scenario, isn't it?
Yeah, some people call it sea spinach. So
Sea spinach.
although it's actually it's a beet, so it's the ancestor of all the beets that we know, things like beetroot, sugar beets. So they're all
Okay.
descended from this plant.
So we'll pick these and we'll put them with the mushrooms and the.
Oh, that sounds
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good. Maybe a bit of butter and
So you tell me, big boy.
okay. Yeah. Well, I don't know. You're the chef. You can dig up the root. I always tell people it's really just a survival food. It's illegal to dig up wild plants by the root
Okay.
in the UK. And of course, if we dig the root up, it's not going to grow again. So I always think with foraging, we need to be conscious of sustainability.
Yeah.
We can take a few leaves from each plant with no ill effects at all. But if everybody came down and all started kind of hoovering it up, it would be
We won't let anyone know where we are.
no one's to know, right? Now, really important rule as well, you've got to make sure you don't pick them next to the path because that's where the dogs pee, so I think we're all right here.
All right, we're quite close to the path. Amazing location. We've just been foraging all morning. We've picked some parasol mushrooms. We've got some sea beets. We're going to fry some eggs and make a delicious breakfast. The parasol mushroom, as he said, we'll take the stalk off. And then we've got the lovely caps, which have just got gills underneath. These sea beets, probably if you pick them, give them a little wash because of the dog piss.
Oh, you've done that before, haven't you?
Not normally sitting down, Andrew. Oh, fucking hell, I almost set my shoe on fire. So salt just helps break down the garlic when you're crushing it. So we get a nice paste there, and that's all going to cook super quickly and super evenly. Let's take these mushrooms in half. So maybe I'll quarter them. Sort of making it up as we go here. Pan, really nice and hot, okay? So we're into cooking now, that's all the prep done. We laid our eggs this morning. So it's gonna go in, nice bit of oil. And a little touch of butter. Once the butter's foaming, all foaming, and then we can add in the mushrooms. So that's that.
See, that's braver than me. I never let the butter get to that kind of bubbling point.
So there we go. It doesn't matter if we get a little bit of, if the butter burns, that doesn't matter.
There's our hard foraged mushrooms going in now.
We'll just cook those until they've got a little bit of colour. Seared on the underside, we'll just give them a little bit of salt. We'll just flip them all over. Got a nice bit of colour on there.
Oh, they're browning up already,
Yeah,
aren't they? Doesn't take long.
browned already. And you see they've absorbed a bit of that lovely butter, haven't they? So once we turn them, we'll then add in the garlic. A little bit of garlic. You just want to get that that'll only take about sort of 15 to 30 seconds. Then you can add in these sea beets.
Just chuck them in as they are, wilt
Chuck
them
them
down.
in. And that residual heat of the pan will just wilt down these greens. So the sea beets kind of, you know, they've got a salty profile to them. Obviously growing near the shore, seashore. They're kind of they're savoury. They're mineral rich. So it's like similar spinach kind of flavour, and that's just complementing the mushrooms nicely. So that all comes out.
You haven't cooked those too much, have you? It's just a real light heat.
Just wilt down gently. Good amount of oil for a fried egg. You need a good amount of oil for a fried egg.
Yeah.
Like, good amount of oil. You get that pan nice and hot there.
Do you enjoy cooking over fire?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's sort of brings you back to.
It does. It's a bit of an art, isn't it? It's more of an art than a science.
So, a couple of eggs for breakfast always again.
Oh, they look good. This is starting to look like breakfast now, isn't it?
It is looking like breakfast.
As soon as you get the eggs on there, it's definitely breakfast.
What you want to do with these eggs is just give them a little, put them on top, just give them a little baste.
Those yolks are just beyond golden, aren't they?
Essentially, it's all foraged. It's all something that we picked
Absolutely,
earlier,
yeah.
and it's on your doorstep and it's free. And look, in the air.
But you know, the fact that the mushrooms, the sea beet, it's all from less than a mile away from where we are now, so it couldn't be better, really. So have you got a name for this recipe, Tom?
Oh, it's Andrew's breakfast, isn't it? The forager's breakfast.
That's all right, doesn't
That's
it?
fried eggs, sourdough,
Yeah.
mushrooms and sea beets.
Cooked over a fire.
Cooked over fire. Great company. We picked it half an hour ago, down by the beach, and we're cooking it literally over fire. And it doesn't get better than this. Should we give it a
Yeah, I'm going to try one of these mushrooms to start with, I think. That looks good.
mushrooms?
I'd say that's a winner. That is spot on. All right.
It's delicious, mate.
All right, I'm just going to get a bit, and then I'll tell you.
Sea beets,
Right.
those mushrooms are
Okay.
seriously meaty, buttery, garlicky. It's delicious.
Can't fault that.
You could actually, those mushrooms on their own would be.
They would. They are meaty. That's the best way to describe them, isn't it? They haven't got that mushroomy flavour, really. I'm loving that bit.
It's very romantic, hobbling plate together.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you
Shame we're
hold
not
it.
eating a bag of spaghetti, plate of spaghetti. All I can say is thank you so much for showing me everything today, like showing me where to pick the sea beets, and I'd used them before, but I'd never picked them myself before. And so it's, I mean, life's just an education every day. Like now I'll be constantly on the hunt for these when I'm at the beach rather than just looking for the sunbed. But I mean, yeah, thank you so much. And you're so lucky to have this on your doorstep, and educating people is just so important. And yeah, it's been amazing. It's been fantastic. Great experience.
You're very welcome. Come down again.
Yeah, we definitely will.
Always
You may
welcome
regret
people
that.
who can cook down here. so-
Next time, I'm going native.